Welcome back, YouTube. So it's been a little bit of a hiatus for myself. More my fault, just because I thought I'd decide to go on a trip to Alicante for 3 weeks, which I did say I was going to start vlogging and I was going to start doing all this exciting content shit. Didn't end up doing it. I've just enjoyed my time out there, to be honest, relaxed, and you know, it's been a busy year and a half, 2 years with coaching and building a business. So it was nice to actually have some time to chill, still enjoy life, still train. I was in Titan Fitness, training with the likes of Sass, William Bonac, Reese McDonald, all of them in there, seen all the big names, which obviously put a massive fire in my stomach. It went from one moment being sat there, being told you look big by a waiter, to then walking into Titan and seeing these absolute monsters and feeling like a little boy. So yeah, it's a little bit of a hiatus. We're back now. I've been back for 3 weeks today. So as soon as I got back home, went into a bit of a mini cut. So I'm taking over my own coaching at the moment, so my own body. I feel like I know my body better than anybody else. I know how it reacts. So I'm just going to be super responsive with everything in terms of the immune system, having regular blood checks. Also then like fatigue, making sure fatigue levels are staying at, I need to get fatigued at the end of the day to get in good condition, but it needs to be a level of fatigue that I can manage and I can get out of. So I'm taking all my own prep, all my own diet. So yeah, we're gonna go with we're 3 weeks in, calling it a bit of a mini cut. I'm gonna do 12 weeks in total, just to see how far I can get down, see what sort of condition I can get in, and then from there then, being lean, being super responsive, utilising that rebound then to come out of it nicely, something I've never done before. I've always struggled, just like any other bodybuilder, or the majority of bodybuilders, to come out of it in a good position and actually just start building food up nicely instead of just going to full binge mode. So that will put me in a very good position then to rebound, and I'll be taking a good year and a half to grow them properly. But yeah, it's been super enjoyable so far. 3 weeks in, I'm 4.5 kilo down, so it's going very well. 1.5 kilo a week, which is a perfect rate of loss. If I can keep this trajectory going now, obviously it's going to slow down a little bit, but if I can keep this up over the next 9.5 weeks, then we will be in a solid position. But today we're in Legacy Gym in Pontypool. We're in for a push dominant upper session. Split at the moment is push pull legs, rest, upper, lower, rest. So over the 7-day basis, it's very enjoyable at the moment. We're building plenty of momentum with this. So today, first exercise is going to be the single arm lateral raise. Let's get it. Okay, so single arm cable lateral raise. First thing I'm going to do is set the cable up at knee height. So obviously these cables are always adjustable. Set it at knee height. Then use the stack for stability. Slightly lean out. The reason I'm leaning out for is so that I can get a full stretch in my delt, and obviously get it shortened as well at the top. So the thing I want to think about doing when doing this is to initiate the movement. I'm thinking about dragging my knuckles across the floor and up to the corner of the room, as so. So, second exercise, my favourite exercise ever, and anyone who knows me will know this. Barbell bench press. So the single arm lateral raises, we done 2 sets of 10 to 12, and then drop the weight in 1 set of 12 to 15. Here now we're going to do 2 sets, 7 to 10. First one we're going to go heavy as possible for the 7 to 10. Second set, obviously we're going to drop it a little bit just because we won't be able to keep up that amount of stamina, just to get obviously more, or the strength either. So we'll drop the weight down a little bit and still fall within that 7 to 10 rep range. And then the last set, then we're going to go all out and do a higher rep range just because it's enjoyable. But yeah, that's one thing I want to talk about today is when it comes to training, make sure you're doing things that you enjoy. Main reason being is you are going to progress a million times better if you're doing things that you enjoy. Yeah, we can be optimal and we can choose exercises that build muscle better or target a certain muscle better. But if every single time you're doing it, you hate it, or you're getting a sort of niggle here, there and everywhere, you're not enjoying it, chances are you're going to drop it out or you're not going to progress as quickly. So my advice would be to pick exercises that you enjoy doing, that you can progress and you'll see progression in weekly, and keep them in. And then also do training principles that you enjoy. So if you enjoy doing drop sets, if you enjoy doing volume, do it. If you enjoy just going heavy and hard and just going for top set, back off set, or during your style one all out set, then do that. Do what you enjoy, and you will get the most out of it. I've done it for 7 reps. Instagram's a lot, but done it for 7 reps last week, but I did incline barbell first. So I'm going to touch this just for 1 or 2 reps, just to see what it feels like, and then potentially go up a little bit more then. One thing I love about this bench as well is you don't have to pull it off right at the end, so you can bring it forward ready in front of your chest, and then just use the tricep to explode out. Come on then. Yeah, I made it. Yes. Still playing? Saved by the cameraman. I had, bro, took my rep. Right, so 6, I think, or 5 in a near-death experience.
5.
So yeah, obviously going to failure. Next set now, we'll be in between 7 to 10 rep range, so take a 10 off and go with the 140. Right, so this is the second set. Realised just after doing the first set that the reason I failed was I didn't have the mic on the other way round. The reason being, this gives you extra power, this mic. Solely because the last person to have this mic on their chest was Ronnie Coleman. So when Jay pulls tops out with elite shit only on them, that's elite shit. So yeah, this rep now, this set should be lightweight, baby. Yeah, buddy. Big shout out to Jay as well for these tops. You would have seen me wearing Potential Fitwear hoodie first off, and the t-shirt with Elite Shit Only branding and the Potential way on the back as well. Very, very good quality. Not just saying it because the man stood there videoing me, but I've said it to him as well. Very, very good quality. So get yourself over and have a gander. Jay thinks I'm coming for that sponsorship. Third exercise now. Moving on to the incline barbell. So I swapped these two around the first rotation of doing these. But just because a little bit of ego lifting, just want to enjoy the flat bench a little bit, I've swapped them back around this way. So I'm going into this one a little bit more fatigued. Chest is already pumped from the back off, so the third back off set on flat bench, which was 21 reps. So just going a little bit lighter on you now. We go for a set of 7 to 10 and then a second set of 12, 15. So keeping that rep range quite high, to be honest. It's not, apart from that failed set earlier. Yeah, they're not extremely low sets. Still trying to lift as heavy as possible, but trying to work within that hypertrophy rep range. So trying to get up in the 8s to 10s, etc. And then a bit of a burnout afterwards just to get blood flow to the muscle. But yeah, really enjoying this type of training. And to be honest, just enjoying the process, which is another thing we really need to focus on, especially when dieting. Everybody loves eating food, and we're all foodies at heart. We're all fat kids, inner fat kids. But as soon as we go into a dieting phase, we start almost holding back on everything. So we start like holding back on life. We start holding back with our training or trying to be too rigid. We start focusing on other people, other competitors, etc. Funny enough, one of Jay's clients, Mark, I was having a chat with him after his show. He absolutely smashed it, coming in great condition. If anything, his mindset improved when he was on prep. He just got better, he got stronger. And it was mainly down to just enjoying the process, seeing his body change week to week, seeing more detail come through, more condition come through, just waiting for those changes from his coach who was just coming back, if it'd be a high carb day or something, not expecting it, but obviously when it came then, enjoying it and then seeing what happened to the body afterwards. So just taking in all these nuggets, all the data, it's all supposed to be enjoyable. Yeah, it gets hard when you're the last like 4 or 5 weeks of a prep or a dieting phase, but up until then, just enjoy the process. So it's a slightly higher set. That was 12 then, but I'm really focusing on when I'm doing upper incline chest to really keep the elbows nice and wide. Obviously safety issue is you'd always tuck the elbows, get on the chest, but what I want to do on an incline press is really like resting on that clavicular at the top, all on the top shelf. And also, like, as soon as you start tucking your elbows on an incline press, you start to lose sensation, so you start to lose the ability to connect with the chest. So I'm just making sure I'm not going too heavy, that it's affecting my session. I'm going heavy enough so I can flare my elbows out and contract the chest as much as possible. So that is the push portion of the upper body session done. So we did single arm raises, lateral raises, flat bench, incline bench. Moving on to the back portion now. So we're going to do a single arm row and a single arm pull down, and then just finish on some triceps then. So we're only doing 6 exercises per session. So majority of them are 3 sets. Some of them are 2 sets. So you're talking 18 sets in max, and that's literally all you need. You don't need to be doing 30 sets of stuff. If you want to, like I said earlier, if you enjoy that stuff, then do it, no problem. But you don't need it. Like I said, some of my exercises, are only 2 sets, some are 3. So mine are ranging between 15 and 18 sets per session. But by that time, I've done enough. I've managed my fatigue levels. I'm able to recover from it. And that's just personal experience. So that's me learning my own body and realizing that it can only take a certain amount, especially with the autoimmune disease. I need to make sure that my body can obviously manage the fatigue or manage the sessions that I'm putting it through. So at the moment, 5 sessions a week is ample, still getting the 2 rest days in and keeping the volume, like I said, between 15 to 18 reps. But yeah, what I'm going to focus on doing is something that I've always neglected, something people should always think about doing. So when you're rowing, don't just go through the motion up and down. I've always thought about the eccentric phase, so I've always slowed the eccentric phase down. That's always been okay. The one thing I've always got wrong is I don't spend enough time contracting the actual muscle. Where obviously that's the part that's pushing the blood into the muscle, and that's the part that's activating the muscle to make it grow. So yeah, that's what I'm going to focus on more in my back work, is keeping it in the concentric phase. So not thinking too much about ego lifting and trying to just pull too much weight. It needs to be heavy enough, but heavy enough so that I can contract and squeeze. And then after one arm, make sure you're giving your left arm enough rest as well then before jumping straight into the left arm. If you're doing one after the other straight away, it's probably better if you've got a training partner. Both of you can do a right hand and then move on to your left hand. But when training alone, just make sure you've got enough rest between arms so that, like you said, central nervous system's calm down, your heart rate's calm down, enough to obviously pull with the other hand. Right, so single arm row, over and out. Now moving into the single arm pull down. So there's obviously a lot of different ways to do a single arm pull down, or a lot of different pieces of knowledge that's put out there to try and describe how to do one. But I think as long as you as long as when you're pulling down, your chest is nice and high, nice and proud, you're pulling through the elbow, and you're thinking about driving that elbow down hard to the hip, and you're getting that squeeze and that contraction, you're getting the majority of the rep. The other part to take into account is the top of the movement. So I would always recommend making sure you still get a full stretch there. So a lot of people obviously will lock in and just start from there down and not let their scapula retract. I would rather get a full stretch, full retraction, and then pull down through the feel. A lot of my training at the moment is through feel. So if I'm doing something that has previously been prescribed to me, or I've seen on a YouTube video, or when I've been trying to find knowledge on how to perform exercises better, take snippets from people. Take snippets from how people do things, but then I think the number one priority is making sure that you feel the exercise and you feel the squeeze, you feel the contraction, you feel in all portions of the exercise, instead of just going through the motion or just doing something because that's the optimal way to do it and because that's how it's said to do it on social media. Like one of my favorite exercises is, instead of a single arm pull down, it's just a V-bar pull down. Now there's nothing you can really get wrong there. All you need to do really, all the cue I would say is think about crunching your rib cage and then pulling the V-bar down again hard into your lats. It's not much you can get wrong with it. As long as you're getting a full stretch and a full contraction, you're going to get the most out of the exercise. Yeah, so just going back to, as I previously mentioned as well, about Mark, Jay's client. Obviously come third in the first time as medium class, Jay? Medium. Very, very good luck, to be fair. I've known Mark for a long time. Works very hard, grafts, he's adherent, exactly where you need to be in this game. The good thing about Mark is, as well, is that he waited for his time. He didn't rush into it. he knew when he was ready. I think obviously Jay and him had spoke back and forth as well in terms of actually bringing the best package to stage. So I know that he talked about it a few times in terms of competing previously, but I knew that it wasn't his time. The stars hadn't aligned. Everything has to be aligned as well when it comes to relationships, when it comes to family, when it comes to your own mental health. And if you haven't got all those in play, it's not going to work. So always know when your time is right. Another shout out as well though to Jack Brown, Ashley Leake, both boys who I've seen, trained with. Me and Jack went through a lot of the off season together actually. Had some really good sessions, so I know Jack trains like an animal and the boy's strong as well. So he's put in the work, he's been a adherent. Yet again, he had people shouting at him, telling him to step on stage years ago. He waited it out, done incredibly well, come set in this class. Shape is beautiful, like really, really nice bubbly muscle. Same goes for Ash. Ash obviously done the men's physique. Could have done it last year, had like slight injury, wasn't quite ready. Made mad improvements this year. I think he said to me he was 2 stone up. So mad improvements, and then stepped on stage with a very, very good package. Looked confident up there. Condition was brilliant. So yeah, it just brings me to the point, like there were a few on stage when obviously you go to watch these shows, and I'm not one to speak bad about anybody because I respect anybody who can step on that stage. But there are people that need to know when their time is right. So you don't have to rush into a show prep. Me personally, when it comes to coaching, I'm not a massive fan of coaching people through preps, just because like people's heads can fall off and you're putting somebody into a dark place as well at the same time. So I would much rather put people through photo shoots to start with. Very, very good option. Just go through a dieting phase first anyway. Go through a dieting phase, see how it feels, then try and do a bit of an improvement, and then go into your diet or your prep or your photo shoot again. People need to realise that this sport is to be taken seriously. If you are taking it lightly, it goes to show when you're on stage. It shows. If you haven't put the work in, if you haven't dieted hard enough, if you can't spend times, there might be, everybody's obviously different, but there might be times you have to go 0 carb. There might be times I might have to go pro fat for 2 to 3 weeks before a show, just to get off that fat. If you haven't put the work in, you're not going to be rewarded for it. Not just in placings. Placings means nothing. When it comes to the look on stage, it's quite easy to see who's put the work in, who's dieted hard enough, who's trained hard enough, and who's done it for long enough as well. Like stepping on stage after 1 year, like I've just said, do a photo shoot first. See how you feel about it. See where you need to improve. There's people on these stages that have been training for 10 plus years. And people just need to realise that it's not a sport to be taken lightly. It's not just a little bit of a diet and I'll do a little bit more cardio than I usually do. It's hard, it's mentally draining. People have failed, there's nothing wrong with failing. As long as you know you learn from it and you come back better again, that's the most important part. So yeah, when it comes to it, try doing other things first, try and get a photo shoot in, step on stage when you are ready.
Can I just ask you something?
What are you going to say?
Is this your playlist?
No, mine would be Celine Dion and Rita Ora. No, not a bit of me. To be fair, mine's probably more R&B. I say it is varied, but not this fucking varied.
Fucking listen to Alanis Morissette. Ironic. After listening to your playlist in the car and reading the show.
You haven't seen the there's a belting song. It's when Pavarotti comes on. Do you want to, or what's the other one? Luciano
Pavarotti.
That's is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, when Pavarotti comes Is it, who's the other one? Pachetti, in it? One of them anyway. As soon as the top set comes on, you put that in your ears. That's when you know you're on. If I had any ears on my arms, when they would stand up. So yeah, last exercise, sorry. Tricep press. I don't actually know, so Watson actually, but this is a very, very nice tricep press. It's sort of like a skull crusher variation. You get a nice stretch on the tricep and really nice contraction on it as well. So I'm just gonna do 2 high rep sets here. Same again, just all off evidence-based training my own self. Just find that the triceps respond a lot better to high volume. Personally for me, or the arms in general as well, biceps too. Plus, I don't fancy putting my bicep through a 30k curl and snapping off a tendon. So yeah, 15 to 20, 2 sets, and then we are finito. You can tell her in the valleys when it's banging in the background. That's the upper body session finished. Really enjoyable. Like, this is the session I will be running now consistently throughout the rest of this mini cut. So like I said, we're looking at roughly like 9.5 weeks of the cut left, and then moving out then into an improvement phase. So goals are currently, I'm sitting at 96.9 this morning. When I was in prep earlier in the year, the lowest I got to was 94. So I'm thinking of potentially be surpassing that this mini cut. So it should be a better look. Something I'm looking forward to. So the goal is to get under 90 kilo in the next 9.5 weeks. Weight doesn't mean everything, but it's always good to have those goals there. And if you're constantly pushing towards a certain goal, the worst that can happen is you're just going to get better anyway. So always set yourself targets. Target at the moment is just literally a kilo a week. And like I said, if I'm pushing for that kilo, I know I'm going to progress wherever anyway. So if the scales doesn't budge much, I know the body composition is going to improve anyway. So we're always looking for that progression. But yeah, enjoyable session. Next session on the next YouTube, we will be having a special guest. I won't mention any names just yet, but she is a very impressive bikini competitor, somebody who's won multiple titles or local titles and British. So it's going to be, we're going to go through a leg session. I'm going to put her through her paces, or she'll probably put me through my paces, to be honest, seeing she's got better glutes than me. But yeah, same thing. If you want to improve certain body parts, train with people who have got that or are at the level. Somebody who can push it and take it there, and somebody whose body parts that you were trying to improve are already a strength for that person. But yeah, looking forward to that one. That's going to be a big one. other than that, like, comment, subscribe, get yourself over to Potential Way and get yourself some sick new clobber. And also, last but not least, any supplements, get down to Steps, Chaney 10 for a discount off. Help your boy out and also get yourself a nice little discount as well at the same time. But see you soon.